If now, whoa, inside this box I have the new Zealot S2. What is my thoughts about this one that is coming to replace the older brother, the Zealot X, that was more powerful than this one, but the Zealot S2 is basically the new flagship from Backfire. What is my thoughts about this one? If I put next, for example, to a Meepo Voyager or even a Exway Flex Pro. If you want to know everything about it and do this unboxing with me, stay tuned after the intro. Hi everyone, Marcus here from madpack, and if you love tech and if you love discounts, this is the place for you because everything that I bring to you guys have links on the description below. And today is not an exception. We are going to do another unboxing, and with this skateboard we are going to assemble the new Cloud Wheels Rover 110R because the roads in the UK are not the best. But if you love skateboards, I have another skateboard to review really soon also, so definitely if you want to know which one is in here, stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So inside the box you'll find your Zealot S2 that in battery is slightly smaller than the Zealot X. So the Zealot X was 504 if I'm not wrong, and this one is 403 watt-hours. When we talk about the battery configuration, it continues to be like the Zealot X 14S2P. So when we look to the box, you see here Backfire Skateboarding is just the logo in this side, surfacing the road. And on both ends, you'll have the logo of Backfire once again. On the top, you have some warnings, some foam. The skateboard will have a look in a bit, but when we talk about weight, we have here 8.5 kilos. Inside the box you can see you have these covers that I'm almost sure that is for your belt. You have this small box. First of all, you have some stickers. You have the skate tool that, yeah, it could be better. So it's something that we see in basically all the brands. The best skate tool that I ever have received was when I received the Ultra. It was really cool and much more high-end. Extra belts. You'll find your charger. The output of this charger is 3.5 amps, so not the worst, but also nothing spectacular. You'll find extra pulleys to change and have different types of tires, and already with the bearings installed. You have here also an external cable to charge your battery, a cable that is basically USB-C, so definitely a plus, and some other tools. And now let's have a quick look on what it is for me, the best remote that I ever saw. The front, it's a metal feel and it's quite cold on the hand, but the outside, so the back of your remote, is all in plastic. You will not have any issues of connections with your board, so definitely a plus. All the wheel is metal, as you guys can see, and it feels so good on the hand. Even if you are like Zach that normally reviews all the skateboards with me and you like to have your finger on the top, it's really comfortable because you have this curvature to fit your finger, and in that way have more control on what you are doing, so definitely a plus. Another thing that I like, you see the grip here, it's amazing. It protrudes a lot and is going to definitely gives you a lot of comfort when you are riding. Also, you have this card with more information about Backfire. As you can see, the screen is colorful, so that's the first one also for me since I opened this channel, and I have reviewed plenty of electric skateboards. And another thing that I really like, I don't know if you guys can see, but this material is like a rubberized material, so it feels very comfortable and very smooth on your hand. Also, the strap is really thick and very comfortable, and you can adjust and make it smaller. Let's see a little bit closer this skateboard. I really like it. When you look to it, I like the design of it, but I have already to put out something that I'm not so into it. Maybe is your style, but I prefer that the deck normally looks a little bit different. So when you look to this deck, as you can see, is very flat on the center, and the corners, they are much higher. So it will give you that extra grip on the two ends, but I normally like that the middle surface is a little bit more concave. But if your feet are a little bit bigger than mine, and mine are really small, definitely that can be a massive advantage for you. Another thing that I really like, I don't know if you guys can see, but Backfire have changed their logo and it looks a little bit different, but I really like how they made it and how it looks on the deck. When we talk about the grip tape is good, and I think it's going to give you a lot of control of your board, and you have plenty of space to move your feet towards the front, because these two ends of your deck, they are quite long, so definitely a plus. I know that their main objective was to give you a sensation closer to a snowboard deck. I think they managed to do that here, but I'm not sure if I'm going to like so much. When we talk about flexibility, this deck is not as flexible as you could expect. So these wheels, even if they are 96 millimeters, and when we talk about the softness of these ones, they are 80A, so they are quite smooth to the touch, but I don't think they are going to take the amount of vibrations from the floor. And because of that, and because we live in the UK, like I said to you guys, we are going to replace these tires for the new Cloud Wheels Rover 110R, and if you want to purchase them cheaper, there is a link on the description below with a coupon code, so feel free to use it. And after, I'll show you which color I choose to put on this board, and yeah, we'll talk about that, because colors, that's a big thing when we talk about the Zealot S2. When we talk about the bottom of your board, I really like the material that you'll find here is really smooth. Even all the surrounding of the board is really smooth to grab it, so definitely a plus. And the enclosure of your batteries, that's not cheap plastic, so when you grab this, you can feel that is very high end. You have even here these metal bits to dissipate heat on your ESC, so definitely a plus. You have all these stickers with warnings. You have another warning here, and also here on the bottom, as you can see, you have some more warnings. That's a good touch from Backfire. When we talk about range, they say and they advertise that this board is able to do at 30 kilometers per hour with a 80 kilos rider, about 30 miles, so 48 kilometers. We'll have to see that in real life. Zach is basically that type of guy and definitely will not be riding faster than that. If you want to know also what will be the range that will take from this one, and also which other skateboard is on that other mysterious box, definitely don't forget to subscribe to the channel. When we talk about the motors here, they are the 5255 motors with 875 watts. So we are talking about 1750 watts of power, so plenty of power that you have here. And also the big difference with this motor compared to previous boards on Backfire is that they build these ones in-house, so definitely a plus. Like I said before, at this type of price, and this one is about $849, the battery configuration is a 14S, and in this type of price, majority of the competitors, they are in 12S, so definitely another pro that you'll find if you decide to purchase the Zealot S2. When we talk about the motors that were on the Zealot X, the 6358 motors, they were much bigger and the power was much higher than this one, but the disadvantage is that you'll have normally less range. So the thing is, I believe that here we'll be able to take more range than if you had a Zealot X. When we talk about top speeds, you have here a board with 30.5 miles per hour, so I have to say that is plenty enough of speed for an electric skateboard, in my honest opinion. And when we talk about dimensions, the length of this deck is a 995 millimeters, and the width is 249 millimeters, if I'm not wrong. When we talk about the trucks, they are casted trucks of 8 inches. So if I compare to the Zealot X, that one was forged trucks. When we talk about the kingpin that you'll find here, that's a reverse kingpin. You should have plenty of stability and I think a little bit more rigidity with this one compared to the Zealot X. When we talk about the ESC that you'll find here, is a ESC that is basically put together by Backfire, but is a 14S hobby wings. And if you follow me for a while, you know that I really like how smooth the Hobby Wings Asks are. So I'm really curious to see how I feel when I'm riding this one. But I want to put like a quick comparison when we talk about the Meepo Voyager and also the Exway Flex Pro. First of all, this one will be the cheapest of the three, if I'm not wrong. This one about $849. And when we jump to the Exway Flex Pro and even the Meepo Voyager, we are talking about boards that cost around $999. So $150 less. So if you are searching for price, definitely here you have an amazing price. If you are searching for the best remote, at least on the hand, forget it. This is the best experience that I ever had. And like I said, for people like Zach that likes to have the finger on the top when he's riding, this one is really comfortable. It's quite big, it's quite long. Even for someone that have big hands, I find it very comfortable, and I found that they'll have plenty of space, because for me there is plenty of area here on the bottom, and definitely something cool. Another big benefit in my opinion that you have here that I didn't test it, but like I said, this is just my quick thoughts, is the fingerprint here. That's a cool feature. First, for safety, if someone tried to steal your board, they'll have to have your finger to be able to unlock. The second thing is you'll not be pressing by mistake and turning on your board, and suddenly you press it and your board will hit a wall or a car or someone else. So definitely a plus that I find with the Backfire Zealot S2. When we compare this board to the competitors, I'm expecting to have less top speed and less acceleration, but you'll get all these LEDs, you'll get also ABS around the board, so to avoid that your deck can get damaged, and the LEDs, they are protected by this ABS technology that you have around your board. So definitely a plus. And like I said before, I never find any board that the corners, they feel so smooth. So definitely a plus for me. And before I turn on this one, let me show to you guys these tires. As you can see, here is the tires, and I choose the green color. Let me know if you like this green or not, but I found it premium and really cool. They are not cheap, okay, so have that in mind if you want to buy these tires. They are not cheap, but the comfort of Cloud wheels is not comparable, and I know that this will improve a lot our experience out of the box of the Backfire S2. Another thing that I really like is the fact that you can basically change the covers that you have here to make it a little bit bigger if you want to put a bigger tire, and you don't have to remove anything, you just have to remove the bit of plastic that is in there. So definitely a plus once again. Another thing that I have to say to you guys that I'm already really impressed is with the thickness and the cable management here. It's almost impossible that you can damage these cables because they are completely covered with metal on top of the cables. So definitely a plus, and the way they are assembled also, they will never basically unplug and losing the power in one of the tires, something that happens to me with other boards. So now let's take these stickers out. Since this board is the first time that is coming out of the box, is in transport mode. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to plug our charger to this board, and in that way the board after 30 seconds will turn on. Something that I'm not really fan is this charging port. Not saying that is a bad one, because this one reduces the risks of having like a short circuit on here, but I really hate when they put the charging ports on the bottom, because the risk of opening when you are riding is bigger because of all the friction with the floor and all the vibrations. So the best place, at least for me, to put to charge is on the side. And also if you have your board on the floor, it's much easier just to find one of the sides and put it to charge than basically having to rotate your skateboard. But that's just me, and I just wanted to point it out. But it's very easy to put in place, and it seems that is going to stay there. Also, the type of material that you find is very flexible, so it's not like cheap plastic. So definitely a plus that you have there. But also the inside of it is much easier to bend. So have that in mind if you are struggling to put in place. Maybe the inside of your plug is basically curving a bit and is hitting one of the sides of your plug, and you are forcing and damaging your port there. Not the port, but more the rubber that is going to cover your port. Something that I like about the Backfire charger is that is the brand of Backfire on the back. And if you have multiple skateboards, you know that sometimes you have to write on the back of your chargers which one is which. So the only thing that I would like to see here is also Backfire and which models is compatible with, because in that way, if you have more than one, you will avoid to burn something, if it makes sense, and after you need to change the ports or other things like it happens to me in the past. So now let's just connect this for at least 30 seconds, and is now coming off of transport mode, is blinking here. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, you can see now that it's blinking. I turn on the remote. It seems that it's already connected. The remote is at 93% and the board is at 75%, so not bad. And I like that they don't come with 30% of battery, something that I really hate when it happens, because you have more risks to have issues with your BMS, but you don't have that issue here. Let me unplug and see if now, whoa, if now, whoa. I think you saw my reaction. I was not expecting this. Wow. For so long that I didn't have a board that can reach this type of speed, so it's this is in turbo mode, but let's change the modes on this remote. So this is eco mode. So the eco mode, and I really like, you see this is eco. If I press now, is sport is slightly darker blue and turbo is on the triangle. So let's start with the eco mode. And the eco mode, and I love the design of the remote, is really cool, and you can really control really well what you are doing. So now I'm basically rotating at 4 kilometers per hour. So in eco mode, you can reach up to 20 kilometers per hour. Remember, this is the free spin, so with your weight will be less than that. But it's very responsive. And I really love how smooth and how responsive, since you come to the normal position of your remote and you just brake slightly, it brakes straight away. So definitely a plus. When you look to the remote, you can see really well the speed on it, which mode you are on it, and I love that every single mode have a different color. You have the battery in there. I would like that you have the possibility to see percentage in opposite to see the bars, because you'll have a better understanding of it. And also I would like to have an idea of what is the total mileage that I can still do, and that could change depending on your riding style, and do like an estimate of mileage or kilometers that you are able to do. So that's the first mode. Eco mode is quite responsive, up to 20 kilometers per hour. When we go to sports, it responds a little bit sooner, and just bending slightly here, you go easily to 13 kilometers per hour, and it says that it goes up to 38. But I have to say that the sports modes feel super aggressive already. And don't forget that we are on 75% of battery. This is crazy. By the way, on the bottom you have your kilometers, the trip kilometers, and yeah, on the bottom also it will give you the signal of Bluetooth. Also, you can, if I'm not wrong, yeah, you have cruise control. As you can see, I'm not touching anything and it's still rotating. So if you press on the circle on the other side, on your right hand side, you have cruise control, something that I really like. Also, you have here a mode to lock your remote, and I'm sure that is with the finger here, but we'll find how to do it, and the Bluetooth signal in there, but we'll have to understand a little bit more what is that. In other remotes, it's very easy to press. They put it in a place that normally is very far from your hand, is the reverse button, and it's very noticeable that now you are just going backwards and you are going forward. So very easy placement, and I like that is a physical button in there, and it's quite small, but it's very easy to reach and it's very easy to change. Sports modes up to 35 kilometers per hour. And now let's jump to the turbo mode. That is the one that the screen becomes red. So remember that with the sports, just slightly pressing in here was going to 13 kilometers per hour. That, in my opinion, it's already super aggressive. When you jump to the turbo, you go about 20 kilometers per hour just pressing slightly. And when we talk about full speed, or in this case free spin of your board, now it's reaching 48. When I just took it out, it reached 50 kilometers per hour. But now 48 kilometers per hour. Like I said, we are in 75% of battery, so if you have a full battery, I'm sure that the free spin reached the 50 kilometers per hour, like it was the first time that I pressed, that I was not expecting to be on turbo mode. So let's talk about this remote, that I find it very interesting. So if you press in there, you can see I have locked with my finger, and if I try to press with all the fingers, it doesn't unlock, okay? If I put my finger now, it's unlocked. So definitely a plus. So if you stop for any reason and you want to talk to someone and you don't want that your board just go somewhere, just type, stay there and lock your board. So definitely a plus. But if you basically press on this button here, you are going on the settings. So the first one will be the remote power. So if you press once again, you enter, you can see the remaining battery that you have in there, so 91%, the amount of time that is available to use this remote, so 273 minutes, and the battery capacity of this remote is 1000 milliamp hours. And if you want to go back, is this side, so now it's back, and if you go down, you have board power. If you press there, you can see the voltage, so in this case 54.9, 75% remaining, and you can see the battery temperature, so 90% of battery temperature, so definitely a plus. And these are basically, I think, your cells, so definitely a pro. And after you have your motor and ESC, so if you go there, you will be able to see your ESC temperature and your motor temperature. So the ESC at the minute is 28 degrees and the motor's 26 degrees. If you go backwards, you have echo settings, and this is insane. So even if it's called the echo settings, you can basically configure everything step by step. So you can configure your speed, how much you want, 40%, 60, 50, whatever, your acceleration and your brake. So definitely a plus. So you can completely customize your experience. And like I said, the sports was already, for me at least, out of the box, maybe a little bit too aggressive. So you can come here, configure the way that you want. But even if you go to the turbo, you can see that the top speed is at 96, the acceleration at 100 and the brake at 60. But you will be able also to change your turbo mode to whatever you prefer. And after you have your fingerprint, and here you can configure up to 3 fingerprints. So imagine it's me, my wife, my friend to ride, I'll be able to set it up for them, and you can set it up to 3 fingers. Or if you want to be able to unlock with another finger, you can do it. And imagine you ride with your right hand and you don't want to press by mistake, you always can use another thing from your other hand just to lock your board, and in that way you'll be basically locked in place. You have also your restore settings and firmware update, and this is, in my opinion, the most impressive remote that I ever tried in the last 4 years that I ride electric skateboards, 4 or 5 years already. Another thing that I want just to point it out is the rubbers around your ceilings of your batteries. They are also really good, so no risks that you have dust or water going in, even if I definitely don't recommend you to ride electric skateboards if it's been raining, because otherwise you'll have water going to your bushings, and in that way you will have more risks of losing the grip on your tracks, and in that case you'll get more wobbles. Another thing just to point it out is about your tires. Like I said, this board is very stiff, and I'll definitely recommend you to have or bigger tires or choosing something like the cloud wheels, because they give you a lot of grip, a lot of safety, and also you'll feel much more comfortable riding with them. And like I said, I'm really curious to try these ones, because these ones are bigger than the previous ones that I test on my Exway Max. Let's see how it goes, but just to let you know, the inside where is the green area is basically a 96 millimeters, so basically the same as you have in here, so it's slightly thicker. So for that you'll have to remove these covers here to allow space to fit these tires. I have to say I'm really excited to test them out. Overall, just out of the box, I have to say that you are buying something that is worth for the money. Everything feels really premium. Even the plastics, they don't feel cheap whatsoever. Here the batteries enclosures are amazing. The feeling of the button to turn on and turn off is great. Like I said, not a fan of the charging port where it is located, but I think that is quite stiff and it will stay in place. But obviously with time this will get a little bit looser, so there is more risks to open. But by the design of the plug of your charger, there is less risk also that this will come off, so definitely a plus. The truck still looks quite well built. We'll have to see how you feel when you try to ride with this one, but overall I think the Zealot S2 can be a winner. We'll be doing the full review, me and Zach, really soon, so stick around. For me it will be today, but for you will be basically maybe in a couple of weeks. I hope that you'll enjoy this type of content, and definitely if you want to know which other skateboard is in there from another brand that we have already covered here, stick around, because it's going to be really cool. It's a very short one and I don't say anything else. But if you are curious to see a little bit more skateboards and other PVs and also other kind of tech related with smart home and those stuff, this is the place for you. My name is Marco, this is madpack. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment below, smash a thumbs up, do whatever you want, but always with a smile on your face, and I hope to see you in the next one.